Kiss.
Yeah, it's your boy Mike K. Smith, also known as A-Kiss, also known as the coolest guy in sports, back with another Who's Better. This time I have two of the best pure scorers ever to play in the NBA, in Carmelo Anthony and Tracy McGrady. NBA championships, they both have 0. NBA seasons, Carmelo Anthony has played 15 seasons, going into his 16th season this year. Tracy McGrady played 16 seasons. Playoffs played, Carmelo Anthony 11, Tracy McGrady 9. All-Star appearances, Carmelo Anthony 10, Tracy McGrady 7. All-NBA first teams, TMAC 2, Melo 0. All-NBA teams, Anthony 6, TMAC 7. Scoring leaders, Carmelo Anthony 1, Tracy McGrady 2. Career stats for Carmelo Anthony: 24.1 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 point steals per game, 0.5 blocks per game, 44% from the field, 34% from the three-point line, 81% from the free throw line. TMAC: 19.6 points per game for his career, 5.6 rebounds per game, 4.4 assists per game, 1.2 steals per game, 0.9 blocks per game, 43% from the field, 33.8% for the three-point line, 74% from the free throw line. Now, we know Carmelo Anthony is still playing. He's with the Houston Rockets this upcoming season. We know Tracy McGrady is retired, but I still think that these two players need to be compared. Like I said, these are two of the best scorers in NBA history, two of the best scorers I've ever seen, T-Mac and Melo, and also two of the most divisive players of the past 2 decades in Carmelo Anthony and Tracy McGrady. T-Mac has never won a ring, and like I said, Melo's in Houston right now. This is his best opportunity to win a championship. Will Melo make them better or worse? Only time will tell. As that being said, I always kind of try to rely on stats to debate the strengths and weaknesses of each individual player, and I try to be as unbiased as possible and determine the victor. Now, T-Mac was supposed to be half of an unstoppable wing force in Orlando when they paired him with Grant Hill. They both signed 6-year contracts before the 2000 NBA season. Were supposed to be the most dynamic duo in the league for the next half decade, but we know what happened to Hill's ankles, and T-Mac basically became a one-man show in Orlando, which kind of sucked, and basically had to carry this team because Grant Hill was constantly always hurt. And by the time he was paired with Yao Ming in Houston, McGrady had tons of miles on his legs, a microfracture surgery that robbed him of a lot of his late career athleticism. These things limited one of the most talented all-around athletes in NBA history. To put into terms how great T-Mac was, there was actually conversations about who was better between him and Kobe Bryant. We know T-Mac was picked straight out of high school. His career blossomed a little later than people expected, but he was still relatively young. His 2002-2003 season ranks as one of the best all-around seasons of all time, averaging 32.1 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and better than a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Shot 46% from the field, 39% from the three-point line, and his peak was from 2000 to 2005. And we saw arguably one of the most unstoppable offensive forces in the NBA during that time. McGrady was never known as a true defensive stopper, but he was actually a capable defender in his prime. He averaged more than 5 assists per game 7 times in his career, which is incredibly high for somebody considered a shoot-first player. Carmelo Anthony is one of the greatest pure scorers in NBA history. It's crazy how people try to disrespect him after one down season with OKC. They forget how lethal this brother is or was. Melo was a superstar with the Knicks and the Denver Nuggets. He was a sharpshooter, athletic, helped lead the Denver Nuggets to a Western Conference Finals, while never asked to do as much for his team as McGrady, other than score the basketball, because he was never a all-around type of player. The truth of the matter is, Carmelo Anthony was a spot-up shooter and an isolation player. He was never quite the ball handler T-Mac was. Anthony never averaged 30 points per game either, like Tracy McGrady. But Like I said, he was a spot-up shooter, isolation player. People said he was a ball stopper. Melo never averaged more than 4 assists in a season, but Melo was a constantly better rebounder by the numbers. And also, I think Melo was a better true scorer than Tracy McGrady. That's why his overall career stats were so much better than Tracy McGrady. Now, people want to say that TMAC had a shorter peak, which is true because his peak was cut short by injuries, but that doesn't take away from Carmelo Anthony being a more consistent scorer for his entire career over Tracy McGrady. I mean, Melo has a tied NBA record with 33 points scored in a quarter. 33 points in one quarter. Do you know how insane that is? That means his brother was on fire. They had to call the fire department to try to cool this brother off because he was scorching hot. 33 points is insane. But for all those supposed similarities, their actual play styles were very different. McGrady was a better ball handler and slasher, while Anthony was a much better wing player and a better player in the post. Anthony also wasn't a great defender, and his defensive numbers were never like Tracy McGrady, who one season combined 140 steals and blocks in a season. That shows you that T-Mac was a capable defender. And also, Melo never got a chance to play with superstars in his prime like Tracy McGrady, even though Yao and Hill were both kind of injury prone. So you can count that, but he still played with superstars. Melo has never played with any superstars in the prime of his career. So, that being said, though, who's better between T-Mac and Melo? I got to give a nod to Tracy McGrady because Tracy McGrady could do basically everything Carmelo could do and a little bit better. Even though Melo was a better scorer, Tracy McGrady was no slouch in scoring. He was also a better passer, ball handler, and defender. For all that, you got to give a nod to Tracy McGrady. Also, don't forget, McGrady had one of the all-time clutch performance in NBA history with 13 points in 35 seconds against the Spurs in 2006, which is one of the craziest moments in history that will always be constantly talked about. So that just goes to show you that T-Mac is a legend, was a better player than Carmelo Anthony. It's the reason why some people say T-Mac was the GOAT. That's what I was telling people, like, back in the day, Tracy McGrady was a monster. You don't let the last few seasons of his career when he was hopping around team to team trying to get a championship, don't let that fool you. Tracy McGrady was the truth. But that being said, who do you guys think is better? Let me know in the comments below. Are you rolling with Tracy McGrady or Carmelo Anthony? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because I bring you daily NBA content and player analysis. Also, shout out to True Trill for asking for this comparison video. If it's a comparison video that you guys want to see, let me know in the comments below. I will do them. This is your boy, M.I.K. Smith, also known as A-Kiss. I'm gone, man. Peace.